Hello, my friends. Today I'd like to share a verse from the Tao Te Ching that really cuts to the heart of what many of us consider sacred, and that is the concept of being successful. Now, most of us were raised, maybe all of us were raised to be successful, and yet success is it's a bit of a slippery slope. What does success mean? Success to one person might not be success to somebody else. But in our society, usually success has been equated with making lots of money, having a powerful position, or being a model, whatever it is that you feel you're supposed to be, whether it's a mother, a housewife, or a CEO, or the head of a department at a university, whatever it is, there's this kind of a hierarchical standard that we tend to apply to almost anything in the outside world in terms of what somebody is achieving. Well, the Tao Te Ching is such a beautiful book because it really helps us see through a lot of these externally imposed values. And let's face it, these are externally imposed. And it may be throughout certainly our lifetime and probably many generations before us. But nevertheless, these are societally accepted and endorsed standards that may not actually be authentic to each one of us because we're all here for something quite unique and special. And so every time we try and shove ourselves into a norm of what's successful, we may not necessarily feel like we're living up to our potential because we're not meeting this externally imposed standard of success. So listen to these words. This is the Tao Te Ching and the Stephen Mitchell translation. It's part of verse 13. Success is as dangerous as failure. Now, right there, you got to stand up and take notice. What do you mean success is as dangerous as failure? That's like the two opposite things. I want success and I don't want failure. So how can they be equated on the same platform? Success is as dangerous as failure. So listen to this. What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. Isn't that true? Because no matter how successful we may feel, no matter how far up that ladder we may go, there's always the danger of falling off. And how many of us who feel, well, who others would say have achieved a level of success, don't necessarily feel that way inside. There can be this feeling of, I'm still not good enough. I've still got to do more. I still need to achieve this and this and this. So it's like, even though to the outer world, somebody looks quite successful, and maybe they even do feel successful inside. Maybe they are patting themselves on the back. There's still that danger. There's still that fear in the background that I could lose this. Success is as dangerous as failure, whether you go up the ladder or down it, even going down, your position is shaky. Because when we go down it, we start to feel terrible about ourselves. We start to feel like we are a failure. We're not living up to the expectations that we think we should be. So whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. Now here comes the remedy for this. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. So your 2 feet on the ground, so one is a little bit tippy, right? But 2 feet, you're not going to get knocked over. You're standing solidly. And what does it mean to have your 2 feet on the ground? What does the ground represent? Absolute stability. A platform that cannot be shaken. So when you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, it means you really stand in your sense of self-worth, regardless of what's happening out there. regardless of whether you got the job or you didn't, or you got the award or you didn't, or people complimented you or they didn't. It's because there's this sense of deep self-acceptance and the sense that you know you're here for a purpose. And whether that purpose is to look good on the outside or not, it's always nice if you do. It's always nice to have those acknowledgments. But that's going up the ladder if you start to consider that as absolutely necessary to feeling good about yourself. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. So as you go about your day to day, notice how often you might be judging yourself, or you might be wondering what people are thinking about you. You might be wondering if they're looking upon you favorably or not. And just notice that's kind of like being on that tippy ladder. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. So maybe just close your eyes for a minute. And I don't know if you're sitting or standing, feel your feet on the ground. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, connected to the earth, holding you securely, you will always keep your balance. Thank you very much. Lovely to be with you today. And have fun with your life.